Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. Hey, we have to find out what movie we're watching today, so we better head to the Halloween Advent calendar. We are counting down the days to Halloween through movies. What movie are we watching? Let's go find out.
October 15th, what are we watching today?
I wish I could film it.
It is being filmed.
No, I want to film it.
You want to film it? You're in it. What is
M3GAN.
it? M3GAN, oh, nice. Can't wait to see that dance in person.
So that was a first time watch for us, M3GAN. It reminded me of a lot of things. I mean, you know, stuff insignificant that really doesn't have much to do with this movie in terms of genre or anything, but you know, like Small Wonder, Urkelbot, that movie Daryl, you know, stuff like that. But when it comes to like more matching of what this movie is, obviously it made me think of the Child's Play movies. And then like AI, Spielberg's AI. I mean, I know that's not horror, but it very much is like a cautionary tale in a way. And Ex Machina reminded me of that movie too. I feel like those were the main ones where something was going on, or just like the movie itself, you know, it was just sort of making me think, oh yeah, you know, this has a lot of parallels, but here we're looking at a horror movie, you know. So, yeah, this one kind of, just like Teaching Mrs. Tingle yesterday, where I thought Teaching Mrs. Tingle was going to be a harder thriller, but it wasn't. I think I expected this movie to go harder as well. We did watch the unrated version, but yeah, I don't know, it still felt relatively mild. I think maybe there's more F-bombs in that. I'm guessing that's the only difference because it just seemed like a standard horror movie otherwise. But just like Teaching Mrs. Tingle, this one was it was softer, it was lighter toned than I was expecting. I was like another recent one that I watched was The Night House, and that had a very serious tone throughout it, and I think maybe I expected that out of this movie, or at least a tone maybe similar to AI, Spielberg's AI. Maybe that's kind of where I thought this was going to go, except for it was going to be like a horror film, right? But there are moments when, so obviously this doll, M3GAN, is being manufactured, and when we are in that like toy company that's making the doll, everything feels very light and a little bit silly there, I think, but there are also comedians playing some parts, so maybe I'm just projecting that. But when you compare scenes within the office to the home scenes did feel more serious, you know, a little closer to AI or Ex Machina, right? But it was the scenes that took place at this toy store, toy manufacturer, toy shop, toy maker thing place. That's when it was just like a little sillier, a little funnier. Also made me think of Splice a little bit. You ever see Splice? I mean, because this is kind of like a Frankenstein story in a way, except for here, the creation, the monster, is bad. Where the Dr. Frankenstein here, Williams, what's her name? I can only think of her dad, Brian Williams. But anyway, she was also in Get Out, but she, you know, was more just like, it wasn't like she was bad, she just wasn't cut out for guardianship, because she has her niece move in with her, and she's the guardian of her niece, but she's very much a workaholic and not a she's kind of like an absent aunt, basically, who has the niece living with her, because she's so focused on work and everything. But I don't even know where I was going with all of that. But anyway, some of the special effects did not look great. Others did. Sometimes the face like looked like, you know, a robotic head. but other times it looked like CGI. So I don't know. It wasn't like too distracting or anything like that. It lives in such a wild, uncanny valley. I don't. It's not even an uncanny valley. It's just like there's an artificial quality there, and it lives there so well that it's okay that when it's CGI, it doesn't quite look perfect. That's all fine. But yeah, I don't know. The tone was a little weird the way it kind of shifted back and forth, but then it sort of maintained its more realistic tone towards the end when we weren't in the toy store as much. I keep calling it a toy store, the toy manufacturer as much. But I don't know. We still had a good time with it. Uh, it's just I don't know. Oh yeah, Splice. I was talking about Splice. Oh, and Frankenstein. I kind of get back to my point. Not Brie Larson. What is her name? Is it Brie though? Is it like Brie Williams or something? Anyway, her character is just sort of like absent and everything like that. Not like a bad person. That's I think where I was going with that. But there was like when you're watching Splice, that movie Splice, if you ever seen Splice, it sort of when they're doing the science and everything, there's like this terrible montage and it all just like looks fake. The new Candyman movie, like I'm an artist, so when I watch other people in movies try and be artists, usually it's terrible. A few times it's good. If you've ever seen the movie Pollock, it's really good. If you've ever seen the movie Basquiat, it's done really well. In At Eternity's Gate is very, very good, but a lot of times it's when these actors are playing artists and they're not like studying a specific artist. They're just this invented character. It's very artificial when you're watching them. Like the art world just is incredibly fake and painting styles and things like that. It's just all wrong. It just feels all wrong and incorrect. And I felt like, so I'm not in the toy business or anything like that, but it just felt like as like the manufacturer, the creation of the toy of the M3GAN, like all of that just felt fake, and it reminded me of the movie Splice, because in that movie when they're creating this spliced creature, it all just like looks like fake science. But I don't know, it's science fiction, so I guess it works, but you also don't want it to take you out of the movie. And I feel like sometimes it took me out a little bit, just because maybe it's a budget thing. If the budget was higher and they could have given better like sets and things like that, maybe it would have worked a little bit more. I don't know. But again, they're probably not going for that. But it did feel a bit separate from other parts of the movie, which did I feel like successfully maintain a sense of realism, I guess. But I don't know. Again, it was really fun. That dance part was hilarious. And M3GAN went. I mean, I think the movie overall was like pretty mild, but she did things that I was kind of surprised by. Like some of the kills. At least one of them, I was like, oh, dang. You know, that was kind of surprising that it happened that way. That sort of thing. But and I don't even know. Maybe that was just the unrated version that I. Maybe the rated version isn't that way. But anyway, that was my first time watching M3GAN, and yeah, in general, I liked it. But I think all those other movies that I was listing, that I talked about, I like more than M3GAN. Although I think I like M3GAN more than Splice. Splice I thought was so good when I first saw it, and then on one of my rewatches, I was like, my goodness, this is not good. I do not think I like this. Like, I feel like a movie has never fallen so fast for me. That's not true. I'm sure there are more, but that one was one of them where I was like, this is just not good. I can't, like, I was thinking, like, I remember thinking this movie got, Splice, I remember thinking like it got snubbed by the Oscars. Not snubbed because, I don't know. I was just like thinking it was deserving of like special effects or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Because I certainly don't think that now. But yeah, I think like all the movies I've mentioned, Chucky or Child's Play, Ex Machina, AI, um, I don't know, whatever else I mentioned, I like those movies better than this one. But Splice, I don't think I like better than this. I think I like M3GAN more than I like Splice. But they're still, pretty close. But I would put M3GAN ahead of it. Anyway, but I still had an entertaining time. Still glad we watched it, and it was the first time watching an entertaining one. Anyway, what did you think of M3GAN? Did you like it? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.